to begin with breaking news just coming in within the last hour. A Roman Catholic priest behind bars over allegations that he sexually assaulted a member of his church.
The Bexar County Sheriff says the priest had worked for nearly 10 churches throughout San Antonio and New Braunfels in those areas. Father George Mbungwa Ndungu had been working at the St. Rose of Lima Catholic Church in San Antonio since 2021. Sheriff Javier Salazar said that in August, an employee of the church claimed the priest did something improper with her, so the church reassigned him. Salazar says the church asked its members if anyone had any additional information. Then a month later, a woman in her 70s came forward and alleged that Ndungu sexually assaulted her on 3 separate occasions, which date back to November of 2022.
Bexar County deputies were notified of this incident a week ago. They arrested Ndungu this afternoon. Sheriff Javier Salazar asking if there are any more victims out there to please come forward. You can do that by calling 210-335-6000. Of course, we are looking into this story.
He was charged with intoxication manslaughter nearly 7 years ago. After several delays, a re-indictment in this case, and a change of courts, finally, Paul Donaldson is going to trial.
As the family of the man killed tells our Daniela Ibarra, they say this delay has reopened old wounds.
It's tough to watch. But Ricky Ortiz has waited more than half a decade for a jury to see and hear what happened to his brother, 28-year-old Armando Ortiz.
Still kind of disappointing that it took this long.
The Bexar County District Attorney's Office charged Paul Donaldson with intoxication manslaughter back in April of 2017, nearly 4 months after the deadly wrong-way crash on I-35. Donaldson has been in jail ever since, awaiting trial.
I think it's just poor leadership in general.
Records show Donaldson is accused of having a mix of drugs in his system at the time of the crash that killed Ortiz. In court, Donaldson's defense attorneys told jurors not every tragedy is a crime.
You know, he killed my brother. He was driving the wrong way. Whether he was intoxicated or not, he drove the wrong way for several miles.
Jurors heard from several people who called 911 after they say Donaldson drove past them the wrong way.
It was scary. I didn't want to die. I know if that car would have hit me, I would have died.
The truck just went right by me. Could have almost grazed me. I always tell people if I could have stuck my hand out, that's how close he was.
The Ortiz family hopes Donaldson is held accountable for what happened to Armando. No matter what the jury decides,
there is no justice. There's truly no justice in our situation unless you're going to resurrect my brother.
If the jury finds Donaldson guilty, he could face up to 20 years in prison. Reporting from the Cadena Reeves Justice Center, Daniela Ibarra, KSAT 12 News.
Now, this case may sound familiar because earlier this summer, KSAT Investigates spoke with the Ortiz family about their frustrations. Then District Attorney Joe Gonzalez said that his office had been ready to try this case several times. He said Donaldson's defense attorneys requested a continuance.
Also happening in court today, the San Antonio man charged in a horrific dog attack that killed an elderly man earlier this year. Christian Moreno made his first court appearance since being indicted last month. While this was just a hearing, both sides did discuss evidence in this case, the timeline on when the case could go to trial, and if there could possibly be a change of venue.
This obviously has gotten a lot of media attention, so we will need a much larger panel anyways to try to select a jury. I don't know if you guys have even contemplated a venue issue, but we can talk about all that at the next pretrial hearing.
On February 24th, Moreno's dogs were roaming their neighborhood when they attacked and killed 81-year-old Ramon Najera and severely injured his wife. The next court hearing for this case is in 30 days. Moreno and his wife, Abilene Schneider, were both charged with injury to the elderly and dangerous dog attack resulting in death. Schneider will have her first court hearing next week.
Close to 300 workers in Bexar County will soon be without a job. That's according to the Texas Workforce Commission. That report from the TWC shows more than half of the 279 layoffs are at the food service vendor Aramark. 144 Aramark employees are being laid off at 2 Christus Health locations, largely because the contract between Christus and Aramark has expired. In a statement from Christus Health, the employees will be allowed to work for their new food vendor. The contract between Christus and Aramark set to expire on October 31st. You can read the full statement from Christus Health right now on KSAT.com. By the way, the Texas Workforce Commission also reported Compass United, a child care case manager, laying off 104 employees in Bexar County, and Watts Regulators Company is laying off 31 people.
Some movement, but nothing official yet. In Washington, the Senate has proposed a bipartisan bill to try and avoid a government shutdown. That bill would temporarily keep the government offices open until November 17th. That would give Congress more time to come up with a long-term solution. The impacts of a potential shutdown could be felt by around 4 million federal workers, including military personnel who could miss paychecks if a shutdown occurs.
Yeah, the potential government shutdown also having an effect here at home. Jonathan Cotto with what implications a shutdown could have on our military and what nonprofit organizations are already on standby to help.
The countdown has begun towards a possible government shutdown.
The federal government won't completely shut down. It just won't. However, portions of it will essentially shut down, so-called non-essential services.
But what is considered non-essential, UTSA professor of political science John Taylor says is essential to most.
Particularly if you're getting SNAP or other social safety net benefits, Medicare, Medicaid. It could even affect over time, potentially pay for our military.
Military families who many are already experiencing food insecurity.
Now you're talking about the stress that it puts on not just the state and local safety net, but also on nonprofit and non-government services to try to assist people who might be facing this.
Nonprofit services like the San Antonio Food Bank, who say they've already been meeting for weeks on this topic.
We're getting ready to prepare our websites. We're preparing our help teams. And in the case of the San Antonio Food Bank, we think of two ways. We think of people who can give help and people who need to get help.
The SA Food Bank currently working on a $1.7 million fundraising goal for the month of October in efforts of a hunger-free November for our elderly.
Just trusting our community that if there is a government shutdown, that the incredible generosity of this community will come through.
We reached out to Joint Base San Antonio, and in a statement, they say they are currently evaluating the impact a government shutdown would have at JBSA, and we'll share more information on their website and social media platforms. Congress has until October 1st to reach a budget resolution. Reporting Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
It's a brand new nonprofit dedicated to a young woman whose life was taken by trafficking and addiction. Britta McCarthy assaulted her first day in college, which sent her down a path to drug addiction. Those who fueled her addiction began to sex traffic her. Her mother, Isel, says when Britta got clean, she had 2 beautiful babies. Soon after, addiction pulled her back in and took her life at just 24 years of age. Isel and her husband are raising those children. They're launching an organization to support other children affected by human trafficking.
Help those kids and help the grandparents raising these grandchildren, the adopted parents raising these grandchildren, the foster homes that have taken in these children.
The nonprofit is called Meant to Soar. It launches Saturday with a 5K walk and run at the San Antonio Zoo. It starts at 7 a.m. Everyone welcome. The link, by the way, is on our website, ksat.com.
Let's take a look outside with live cam. Another hot one out there today, but I see you've got the radar pulled up in the Weather Center. What's going on, Adam?
Don't get too excited now. We have the radar pulled up because we've had a few showers here and there throughout the afternoon and now into the early evening. There's still a very weak stalled frontal boundary across our area, and that's helping to kickstart some of these showers. Between Uvalde and La Pryor, we saw some good heavy rainfall, good soaking rain with some lightning associated over the past hour. That has since dissipated now. The Pearsall area, the sweet spot, little bit of development there. Pearson down to Mellon, just about reaching Derby. This is all fairly brief in nature, but you could still pick up a quick quarter to half inch if you're lucky underneath some of the heaviest downpours. Locally, we have the clouds that look like they could drop some rain, and a few have around highly isolated parts of Bexar County, but not much to speak of right now. Oh, wait, check this out. Boom, there we have it. There's one little shower just outside of Atkins and St. Hedwig there. That's it. As we go through the evening, the rain chances continue to fall off and temperatures will be falling down through the 80s. We're going to talk more about the rain chances for tomorrow with the Futurecast and our overall pattern and what that means for rain in a bit.
All right, thanks, Adam. We'll see you then. Let's take a look at traffic out there right now. 410 at Blanco Road here. Looks like the westbound lane's coming towards the camera. Pretty slow going. No big wrecks or accidents that we know of causing this. Usually just the 6 o'clock commute.
The United Way in Bexar County still teaming up to cool people down with free box fans. Project Cool providing seniors and people with disabilities fans for months now. There's not much time left, though, if you still need one. You have until September 30th to get that free fan. Just call the United Way's help hotline. That's 211 to schedule that delivery directly to your home.
Still ahead here on the news at 6, Art on Wheels. Coming up after the break, we're taking you to the San Antonio airport. And yes, on a ride to learn more about the history and the culture of lowriders.
What musical instrument says more about our Hispanic heritage than this?
For generations, the accordion has been at the heart of South Texas and our music.
The first number that I learned, it was in the 50s.
And all Texas are known for conjunto, tejano, and norteño.
And this San Antonio man has played an important role, passing down his skills to thousands.
He's already playing pretty good. Tócale algo.
His full story and the accordion's bright future.
It's a good feeling to hear my music being spread out.
Streaming now on these platforms.
Here's a look at what's coming your way on the night beat. Cleaning up our streets. As San Antonio grows, so does the problem of illegal dumping. How a new solid waste campaign aims to clean up all these messes out there. And he was arrested with loaded weapons and 160 rounds of ammunition. Universal City Police say he threatened to kill people inside their home. He also threatened to kill police officers. So why did the Bexar County DA's office recommend low bonds for this suspect? Our KSAT Investigates team explores that question tonight on the Night Beat at 10. All right, this is my favorite story of the day. It's Hispanic Heritage Month, and the San Antonio Airport has a new display to celebrate our city's car culture. We're talking lowriders and the artistry behind these beautiful vehicles.
They really are gorgeous. RJ Marquez and photojournalist Adam Barraza took a low ride this morning cruising the airport to share the history and the meaning behind these cars.
Lowrider.
From custom paint jobs to bouncing hydraulics, each one of these lowriders tells its own story.
Man, a lot goes into lowrider. A lowrider is an extension of the person. You know, most of these cars are dedicated to somebody, you know, from their family, from their past.
We got the chance to ride with some of these car owners from Callahan to Culebra on their way to the airport.
It's beauty, it's mesmerizing, it's watching a kid seeing a lowrider for the first time going, what? Wow.
As they cruise down the streets, all eyes are on these custom works of art.
These cars are meant to be seen. They're not meant to be kept in their garage.
Joe De La Rosa owns a 59 Chevy Impala. He says that there's not much that compares to driving his lowrider.
If it's once a month, maybe twice a month, it's like a place that you've been waiting to be at.
Lowriding is a way of life for these owners. Stacy Stewart was born into the San Antonio car culture. His dad founded one of the iconic lowrider clubs in San Antonio, First Impressions.
I said he would take his cars to the next level of building it. When you have a lowrider, you get to create your own dream of a car, like your own color, your own interior, all of the specialties you want to do to a car.
Stacy installed thousands of dollars worth of hydraulics in this car, and it definitely makes an impression.
There's a gear in here with fluid. It spins and it shoots the fluid up to the front, and that's what makes the car go up and down. Cruising downtown, you get tourists that like what they see. Like I said, I put it on, hit the hydraulics, hop it. It's just something different, you know?
Lowriders can be traced back to the 1940s and 50s. They became popular as many Mexican Americans or Chicanos on the West Coast, the Southwest, and Texas wanted to express more of their culture.
It's a timeless effort, but it's definitely worth it. The pride that goes into it is something that's unmatched.
These cars are now on display at the airport for Hispanic Heritage Month. Generations of stories and history on four wheels.
My hope is that I can inspire others to be able to join what I would call the culture, the sport, of the love of low riding.
I feel like we're finally getting a platform to where we can highlight the beauty of our culture.
RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
Okay, RJ wins assignment of the day.
That's the story of the day right there.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
If you want to see more of our stories for Hispanic Heritage Month, just scan this QR code you see right here on your screen.
And yes, I do still have that song in my head.
We all do right now.
All right, there's some rain out there, and actually, I'm not even jealous anymore. I'm happy for the people who are getting rain, that somebody out there is getting some rain in their area.
Hey, you got to celebrate success no matter who gets it. That's the way I see it. And let's go right to the radar. Then we'll jump into the forecast and the future cast for tomorrow, because this isn't our last opportunity. But it's pretty slim pickings right now when it comes to the rain on the radar screen. Let's look east of town, and you see the activity east of San Antonio. Parts of Karnes County, DeWitt County, Gonzales County, that's all dissipating quickly. We're losing that daytime heating now, and we're starting to run out of the energy for those showers. Everywhere you see the blue and green on the screen, that's where we had some rain today, and the green indicating at least half an inch near Sabinal and just south of Uvalde. Locally, San Antonio, Bexar County, let's go to near Lackland and just south of Lackland, all the way down to 410 and Palo Alto College, about 2/10, up to 2/10 of an inch, estimated by the Doppler radar. One more shower popped up near Kirby and then up around Chavano Park. If you were lucky, this one, 1604 and Northwest Military, around 1/10 to 1/1500ths of an inch, estimated by Doppler radar. That's what we're looking at out there today. Tomorrow is probably going to be pretty similar. Here's the big picture, and notice more action popping up in New Mexico and West Texas. There's some energy here in this northwesterly flow aloft, and I think some of that energy will drift overhead tomorrow, at least maintaining the isolated rain chances. It's not going to be anything better than today, but at least there's a little something to look forward to tomorrow. And then this upper level high starts to creep back in. We'll get to that in a moment and where most of the rain will be as a result of that. But let's talk about tomorrow. Even our futurecast developing a few isolated or stray showers starting around 2 o'clock. Coming and going, they're very brief. Some will have a little bit of lightning even as we go into the afternoon. And then come sundown tomorrow, that activity really tapers off as we lose our daytime heating. So some of the diurnal convection that we've been seeing lately. Beyond tomorrow, it's slim pickings. We've got a 20% chance tomorrow, so isolated in nature. And then just sunny, dry, and quiet. And here's why. We've got the upper level high that's off to our west, but watch it start to creep back in later this week. There's going to be energy out there. It's coming in from the Pacific Northwest. Big trough that's going to dig into the southwestern U.S., but it can't dig to us. It can't make it here because of the pesky upper level high. The pesky high remains in place and deflects the major weather makers around us. In turn, you look at the potential rainfall over the next 7 days, the generalized look at it, and it's especially around that trough in the western U.S. and a little bit West Texas, New Mexico, and that's about it. Around here, slim pickings, but a nice sunset this evening. Got that going for us. 97, our high temperature today. The average, by the way, is down to 88 degrees. We haven't been under 90 for a high temperature since early June. It's quite a streak, 111 days. 99 Carrizo Springs today. Cotulla made it to 100. Del Rio 99. Most of the state in the 90s. Lubbock an exception at 88 and Amarillo 89 for the high temperature. You look at the current readings. Dallas 93. 71 El Paso. That's where we have some rain. Beautiful Alpine at 81. Rain and clouds nearby there. Castroville at 94. Stinson on the south side measuring 95. And Bulverde at 90. Now tomorrow we start the day in the low 70s. 73 degrees at 7 a.m. By noon, we're up to 89. Partly cloudy, those puffy clouds again tomorrow, and just that 20% chance between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. tomorrow. Generally upper 90s. I don't think we'll have triple digits on the map tomorrow, even a few degrees lower as you get up into the hill country. Bernie, for example, even at 93. And then look, sunny, dry, quiet, and not much variety in the temperature department. High still above 90.
Did you say diurnal convection? Because you know it makes me laugh.
Just for you.
That's what I thought. It means rain, right?
Yeah, well, afternoon. Rain.
He could have just said that, but
more fun this way.
Diurnal for you, I think. All right, so the Texans have a youth movement going on, Mary, and it's much more than just with C.J. Stroud.
Yes, the rookies are everywhere. It's rookie-to-rookie connections. Very fun to see. Makes you very optimistic about what's ahead for the Texans. And the emergence of rookie wide receiver Tank Dell has been very fun to watch. This past weekend, Dell reached new heights. Plus, the MLB playoff race is coming down to the wire. We'll take a look at how things are looking for the Rangers and Astros in the AL West.
Football coverage brought to you by Davis Law Firm.
Texans rookie wide receiver Tank Dell was outstanding in Sunday's 37-17 upset victory of their AFC South rival Jacksonville. The former Houston Cougar has recorded 15 receptions for 251 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns through 3 games. He's tied for the team lead in receptions, ranked second in receiving yards, and first in TDs. Dell's biggest play against the Jaguars was his 68-yard touchdown in the 4th quarter.
I feel like I got to get a props to the O-line, man. Them boys was holding up all game, but you know, that was kind of a deep play pass for us, so the O-line had to hold up for us, and, you know, they did their job, and CJ delivered a great ball, and, you know, we took care of the rest, but it was great.
Next, Tank and the rest of the Texans offense will be put to the test when Houston returns home for a Week 4 matchup against the Steelers at NRG Stadium. On that same day, the Texans will induct retired defensive end J.J. Watt into their Ring of Honor. Turning the conversation now over to Major League Baseball. The season ends October 1st, and the postseason begins 2 days later. And nothing is decided in the Rangers and Astros division. Teams in the American League West are in a very tight race for the title, despite the Texas Rangers having led the division for more than 100 days this season. But thanks to a current 6-game win streak, the Rangers lead the division with a 2.5-game cushion. Meanwhile, the Astros and Mariners continue their pivotal series for the final AL wildcard spot. We'll recap tonight's action on the Night Beats. The much-anticipated Canelo Alvarez fight against Jermell Charlo is this coming Saturday, and San Antonio's Mario Barrios is on the undercard. He will be fighting for the WBC Interim World Welterweight title belt. Sports producer Daniel Villanueva caught up with Barrios to see what it's going to take for him to defeat Yordenis Ugas.
It's going to take, everything that I've learned, and, my whole boxing career, to pull off this victory. Me and Ugas, we have a lot of respect for each other, but, this fight, it's only business. And, I know he's coming ready. I've seen him fight plenty of times. I know the type of fighter that he is. And I think, given both of our styles, this fight, it has potential to be, a very explosive fight. And it's one of those fights that could easily, steal, I think, the show on the whole card.
I love it. All right, the pay-per-view broadcast will start at 7 p.m. San Antonio time. You can read more on the upcoming fight on Instant Replay, the page of KSAT.com.
I like his Spurs hat. You see what he had on when he was training?
Yeah, nice gear.
Pretty sweet.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Okay, coming up next, what a new biomedical research hub in Texas means for San Antonio. Stay with us.